Welcome back to the Purpose Babe Show. I'm your host, Corie Clark, and man, it feels really good to be back. It feels good to be back in the swing of things. It feels good to be in a new year, and it feels good to be recording the podcast again. It has been a hot minute or two or several months since I recorded an episode, and I've got to tell you, and I know you already know this, but 2020 was a show, and it definitely threw me. Any of you who've been following me on social media or my blog, or if you get my emails, then you kind of know that. We ended up moving our family across the United States. We moved from Southern California to Franklin, Tennessee in August. And we were staying at my parents', and we, just trying to get settled. And my husband is working for a new company, and he's still helping me with my business and, finding a new church, just all the things. And then we got COVID at the end of October. And we're all fine and healthy. But it was kind of like every time something started to go good and I started to feel like I was getting back into like a rhythm, then something else would happen. And then we were out of the country for a couple of weeks over Christmas and New Year's. And when we got back, we moved into our own place. So we're renting a house in Franklin while we figure out where we want to be. Where we want to kind of settle down. But so for now we are in Franklin and we love it. And, but we finally got into our own place in January, and that was another show in itself. Because there was lots of issues there. I have some stories on my Instagram that you can watch in the highlights just to see the long story there, but I will not go into it on the podcast because it's not exciting. But needless to say, we are feeling settled. I'm feeling refocused and organized again. And even though we're not, if you looked at my office, you wouldn't say it was organized, but I just feel like I'm getting realigned. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is how I am realigning with my purpose, with my business, with our values, with, these are all things that I teach my clients, that I teach inside the Purpose Babe Society. And, for me, there are things that I do go through quite often, but it just was starting to spiral out of control. And so it feels so good to be realigned. And so if you're feeling off, if you're feeling unsettled, these are some things that you can do. I'm going to share the things I'm doing in 2021 to help get realigned. And I will actually, over the next several weeks and months, I will take a deeper dive into each of these. I have some guests coming on that some of these subjects that they are better at, that I'm learning from them, and I want to bring them on and share them with you. And so, but I'm just so happy to be back. It feels so good. It feels good. I mean, I hardly posted on social media last year, except for just my normal, like, everyday life stuff. And I just wasn't feeling inspired or motivated. But I do know that that is my responsibility. You're not just gonna wake up one day and you're suddenly an inspired and motivated person. It takes work. It takes discipline. And it takes, choosing, am I willing to put in the work that needs to be done to live the life I want to live, to have the business I want to have? Am I willing to do those things? And I have made that conscious decision that this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go after. And so one of the things I did is I added another step to my morning mindset routine. So I have a blog post outlining my morning mindset routine, and I will link to it in the show notes. I think it's very important that everyone, I think you should have a morning routine in general, but I think a portion of that morning routine needs to be focused on your mindset and expanding your thinking and, journaling and all that kind of stuff. So I have a blog post. I will link it in the show notes so you can look at my entire morning mindset routine. But what I've added this year is I've added a vision board practice. Now, I've made vision boards in the past, and I even have a whole blog post on the vision board itself. So I'm going to link to both of those in the show notes so that after the episode you can take a look. But and I'll do a deep dive into my vision board process on another episode as well. But I have added that step because it is so important to visualize and feel the things that we are aiming for, our goals, our dreams. We can't just write it down and walk away. You've got to visualize it. You've got to feel the feelings that you would have when those things come to fruition. What is it going to feel like walking through your dream house? What's it going to feel like driving your dream car or going on that dream vacation or, opening up your bank account and seeing that you've reached, 7 figures in your business? What are those things going to feel like? And when you have them on a vision board in front of you all day, then your mind is constantly thinking on those things and focusing on those things and helping you to feel those things. So that is the first thing I've done to change things up this year. So I still do my other morning mindset routine, but when I'm finished with it, my last step is looking at my vision board, and I go from picture to picture, word to word, and I focus on it and I feel it, and it gets me motivated for the day. It gets me excited. It reminds me of what my values are, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I need to be focused and get this work done and stay aligned with my values because I know what I'm going for. And it also helps me to weed out the things that don't matter because I have that constant visual of looking and knowing what I'm going for. And when something tries to creep in that's not going to help me get to that place or achieve those goals, then it's a lot easier for me to just say no to it. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm doing to get realigned in 2021. The next thing I'm doing is I'm adding several new streams of income, okay? Because, well, obviously, we all saw in real life, great example is we cannot rely on just a couple of streams of income. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be another pandemic, if, the government's going to step in and take something over. You just don't ever know. And so I've always known multiple streams of income are important. We do have multiple streams, but I'm adding more, okay? I want to have 10 streams of income. And so I've already added a couple, and I will go into all the details in another episode, but it's something that's important to me. And to another thing, it aligns with our values, with the things that Ryan and I want to do as a couple, as parents, as, someday down the road, grandparents. There's things we want to be able to do. There's a lifestyle that we want to have and that we want to give our kids, and we want to be able to give to others. And so all of those things, since we are focused on those things, that is why I know it's so important to add more streams of income. Okay, so like I said, I've already added a couple more, and I'm actually leading a new team in a new company, and that's very exciting. And learning how to invest and learning about the stock market and learning about Bitcoin and just really trying to expand my knowledge in that area, because finances, I've always had like these weird money mindset things. And so that's a focus for me this year. And it's a journey, and I'm going to take you guys on it. And I have an amazing guest that I'm going to be bringing on soon, and he's someone who's helping Ryan and I really work on our money mindset issues and help make it better. So I'm really excited about that. Another thing I'm doing to get realigned in 2021 is I'm choosing to be hyper focused on just a few things. I totally have like shiny object syndrome, and a lot of entrepreneurs do. When I see something new, I want to try it. And when I have an idea, I want to go for it. So what I'm in the process of doing right now is actually totally refining the business. And there are a few like avenues to my business. We have the simplifying and the decluttering and the planner, and we have the business coaching and, the Purpose Babe Society, and we have the podcast, and there's a lot of moving parts to all of them. And so we're refining each of those places and putting in new systems and processes and getting hyper focused on just a few really key important things that we do to serve others, to help people, and getting rid of all the other fluff. And that's also going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Right now, the part of the process we're in is just like brain dumping like crazy, getting everything out on paper, going through every blog post and link and seeing where they go and seeing where there's broken links and seeing, where pieces of our funnels are falling apart or not really ever put together. It's a big process, but it's so important. Obviously you guys know I'm a huge fan of keeping things simple and simplifying our lives. So I really am getting down to simplifying our business, simplifying our systems and processes. And that was actually going to be my last point, was systems and processes. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. Systems and processes in your business are crucial. And especially when you're ready to start hiring, because if you already have a system in place, you can literally just hand it over to your new employee or assistant or whatever it is that you're, if you're using a service or if you're hiring someone. If you have things in a system, in a process, and you can just hand it over, it's going to be so much easier than trying to figure out what do I do all day? What should I have this person do? Believe me, I've been there. I've done that. And so what we're doing right now is we are refining our systems and processes, because those got a little chaotic as well. And so, I just think this is so important. And maybe not everybody listening is going to need this right now at this time. But if you ever start to feel like things are getting a little out of control or you're feeling a little unsettled, these are things that you can do to just help recalibrate, get you realigned. And it all comes back to your purpose, your values, knowing what you stand for, knowing what your business stands for, knowing what you're going for in the future. Like, what's your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year goal? What's your goal for the end of 2021? Like, are you headed in that direction? Are you facing that direction, taking steps every day in that direction. Because what happens is when we start to go off that path, that's when we start to feel that chaos. And chaos in our lives, whether it's physical chaos, clutter, whether it's, like overcrowded inbox, files that need to be gone through on your computer, whatever it is, that all adds to clutter in your mind. And if you've got clutter in your mind and you cannot be focused on the things that are important to you, you're going to be like scrambling and you're not going to be making any progress. And so if you are feeling unsettled after the crazy year we all had, then these are some things that you can do. Sit down after you finish this episode and just do a brain dump. Get everything out of your head. Like, what do you want to achieve this year? What do you want this year to look like? What do you want your life to look like 5 years down the road? And what are your values? You have to know your values. Because every decision you make in your life really should be based on your values. And if you don't know what your values are, you're going to end up making decisions that you regret, or you just aren't 100% happy about, or, you're going to make a decision and a few months down the road, you're going to be like, what was I even thinking? If you have that like true north, if you have those values to base your decisions off of, whether it's business decisions, financial decisions, moving your family, choosing like a new health plan for your life, like whatever it is, it should be based on those values. So sit down, write out your values, write out your dreams and goals for the year, and just get realigned, get hyper focused on the things that you need to get focused on, and like I said, about our money stuff and finances, like it's really important to me that we, I want our money to be another one of those streams of income. I want our money to be making money for us. And so, but I want to learn how to do it the best way. And I want to be doing it in a few different ways. So I'm really excited about that. And that might not be something that you need to focus on. So that's why it's so important to get realigned with your values, realigned with your purpose, and figure out what you need to do. What do you need to get hyper focused on? What do you need to do? What do you need to add to your morning mindset routine? Do you need to add something to it? Do you need to take something away from it? Do you not even have a routine, and maybe you need a routine? Everybody should have a routine. And if you haven't read the book Atomic Habits yet, please do yourself a favor and read that book, because one excuse that I hear all the time is like, well, I'm just not that organized, or I'm just not that disciplined. And, I don't like routine. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it either. I would rather sleep in and watch TV, but you have to make that choice and teach yourself, train yourself how to create healthy habits. And that book, Atomic Habits, he puts everything into perspective. He gives you like processes and steps to do that. It makes it so easy to create these habits. And so if you don't have any sort of morning routine or evening routine or any sort of routine in your life, please get yourself that book, Atomic Habits. It will change your life. So I will link to that in the show notes as well. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you are excited for 2021. I hope that you are safe and healthy, and that 2020 didn't take you out too bad. Let's just choose to do this together, to make our lives as purposeful as possible, to create the life and business that we love, and do it together. I'm here for you to go along this journey. So make sure that you are following me on Instagram. Send me a DM. I love to connect with my listeners, with my audience. I'm the one who answers my DMs, and I truly do love getting to know you. So let me know where you are tuning in from and what part of this journey you're on. I've got all kinds of tools and resources on the website for you, but the easiest place to connect with me is on Instagram. So I would love to meet you on Instagram. And like I said, I've got some awesome podcasts coming up. I've already recorded some of the interviews that are going to be coming out over the next few weeks, and they're amazing. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into our additional streams of income, into my vision board process. All of that good stuff is all coming up this year. So I'm really excited and I cannot wait to share it all with you. I will see you guys right back here next week on the Purpose Babe Show.